else that I wanted to talk about is a little bit more with you is the music teacher, Isadora Capri, because she's also in the fold at Willow Hill when the breakout happens.
That's
And
true.
I'm wondering, like, how do you feel about her as a character? Like, is she somebody that you're also suspicious of? Or it's kind of hard because I feel like they're making a lot of these new characters very suspicious, but they can't all be baddies, you know?
Well, they can have varying degrees of ambition that maybe
That's true.
can kind of push them in kind of the good or bad category. I'm not sure what to think of her just yet. I would have thought that the character that Lady Gaga was going to play would have been a music teacher, so I'm surprised that we're getting somebody else in this role. But didn't we have a lot of
Yeah.
suspicion around music teachers last season, or am I thinking of a different show?
Well, I think you might be thinking of a different show because last time it was Christina Ricci's character who was a teacher. Also, she was just like the botany professor.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But I mean, of course, you always have to be suspicious of new teachers,
Mm-hmm.
headmasters, right? Steve Buscemi's character.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little too early to have a read on her. And she's
Yeah.
also a werewolf, right? Am I making that up?
I
Or
got
did
the
she
sense
did
that
she
that was the case too because she was giving orders on like the for the pack. Like she was like, "Oh, like when they were all camping." That was like that episode was weird because it felt like a filler, but it wasn't because we still got another piece of the puzzle. Did you kind of get that sense too?
Yeah,
Like the
well,
camping
I'm
episode
also
was.
thinking of when I might have to rewatch it, but when she pulls aside Enid when
Mm-hmm.
she's ordering her whatever crazy drink that was, I feel like she says
Yeah.
something to her that would lead us to believe that she's also a werewolf.
It's either that or she like knows somebody who is, but I think the thing that I thought was like a little suspicious was that she looked a little rattled. Like she was playing so intently at the asylum, and then she looked a little rattled when she wasn't allowed to like finish her song. And so then I feel like I was waiting for like the shoe to drop. It's like what's gonna happen when she like reaches the like the end of
Right? Is
this
she gonna
piano
fully
number.
transform? Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
or like
but
is
now
she
that
like putting everybody under a spell? Like what is happening here?
well, now that you say that, weren't they camping during a full moon?
Yeah, yeah, because she that's why she was telling them that like they had to lock up the pups, right? Like the werewolves that couldn't control themselves as well, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we'll keep an eye on her.
Yeah.
And then while she was playing the music, though, that's where like I really started to think that we were going to get a reaction out of Stonehurst. I thought that
Yeah.
she was going to be Stonehurst's daughter, not Judy. So I kind of fell for that one, hook, line, and sinker. But we didn't
I'm
get that.
telling you, this show does a really good job of kind of like serving up just enough red herrings to keep you guessing, and I think that's why it's so hard to really to pinpoint like what is going to be the resolution for everything.
Yeah. And it's really hard to cover four episodes in one podcast. I know we're kind of leapfrogging from one storyline to the next, but they're all kind of intertwined with each other.
They are, yeah. I do. I agree with you there. I think all four episodes really are seamless in the sense that it feels almost like one long movie. Like it really follows kind of like a linear trajectory. There's no like big time jumps. It's not like we're catching up like weeks later in the life of Wednesday. It all just kind of feels like it's happening one moment after the other. So I think that helps.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch on with what goes down at the Willow Hill Asylum?
I don't think so. I think like a lot of people, I was also like suspicious of Dr. Fairburn, but it turns out that she was
Another red
like,
herring.
yeah, exactly. And then she unfortunately meets her demise as well. A lot of these people that you're initially suspicious of get picked off very quickly. So
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting too is like Pugsley has some level of responsibility here because he's the one who brings
Yes.
Slurp back, and Slurp's just going around and chowing down on anything and everything, like that poor um, driver's ed teacher and I actually didn't feel bad for the drill instructor. He got what was coming to him, but yeah, I mean that just goes to show you too, right? Like when you there's something to be said for trying to control things, and we see that with Slurp, we see it with the Hide, right? With Christina Ricci's character trying to control, like you can only control up until a certain point.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I did want to mention, which I thought was very cool, was we were talking about Slurp. That little montage that we got, it reminded me a lot of the Three Brothers, the Tale of the Three Brothers from Deathly Hallows. That Tim Burton, you could tell, was behind because it was also very reminiscent of kind of Nightmare Before Christmas. Just like the very cool way that I think it's Ajax, right, who's telling this myth of kind of Nevermore urban legend that ends up applying to Slurp here. But just the way that it comes across on screen, I don't know what that art is called, but it was very, very cool.
Yeah, it's almost like stop motion, but not. Well, I know Tim Burton did it. Like Nightmare Before Christmas is stop motion, but I don't. I think it probably isn't anymore. Like that style can be easily replicated. But I agree that was a really cool montage.
All right. Well, I know we talked a lot about the main plot points. Do you have any thoughts on what's coming in the second half of season two? We did get a little preview, so feel free to use that as a little bit of an aid if you want.
Yeah, it feels like something big is going to go down. I feel like this is maybe like a throwaway prediction, but it does feel like something big is going to go down at that founders gala or like that big fundraiser with Grandmama coming into the fold and like the other Adams is already there. It just feels like they're priming that to be a big moment for the back half of the season. Yeah.
I would go back to something I said earlier. I could see Slurp sacrificing himself in some way. I don't really know if he can be killed, to be honest with you, because he is a zombie. But I could see him defending Pugsley in some way. I'm not totally sold on the Hyde being the big bad that we've seen up until this point. I can see a redemption arc for Tyler in some way. So
Interesting.
I'm not sure how that comes about, but it just seems like that's a character that they likely want to keep going into season three. So interested to see if there's a way in which Wednesday and him kind of reconcile. Maybe they team up against Judy, or if there's another big bad that might show its head in the
Yeah.
second part of the season. It's hard to predict just because, as we were saying at the top of the show, we got resolution to two very big plot points in Wednesday Stalker and the reveal of who the avian is. So, with Wednesday sidelined now and presumably out of the picture, maybe for at least one episode, who knows? All I know is that there's a bunch of loonies running around this this area in what looks like kind of upstate New York.
Yeah, I could see that. It feels very East Coasty.
Yeah, well, she goes to Newark to fly
Okay, that's fair.
in
That would be
Jersey,
a good indicator.
so
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of like in the Upper Hudson area for this school.
Mm.
uh, any closing thoughts? I mean, I would just say to folks who are listening, I know we touched on quite a bit here. So if you're, able to kind of find some things that we may have missed, which I'm sure we did, or you have any questions or you want us to do a follow-up episode, I think we're happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, technically we have a few more weeks before the second half drops, so that's always a possibility. I'm so excited to see like what we got wrong and what we got right, because yeah, it feels like there's so many different ways they could really take this season, and it's going to be really interesting to see how they wrap things up, and to your point, what they leave unresolved and what doors they leave open for season 3.
Well, there's a lot of doors open at Willow Hill. Well,
ready to be refilled.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for listening. We appreciate your support of the show. Just a reminder to be sure to follow us in your favorite podcast app and leave us a review. Also follow us on social media. We're at What the Hype Podcast on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram, and at What the Hype Show on X. Our website is whatthehypepodcast.com. And if you want to email us about anything, you can do that at whatthehypepodcast@gmail.com. And finally, does a friend or family member need a little dose of Wednesday in their life? Let's be honest, who doesn't? You can share this episode with them and tell them that we're walking through every aspect of pop culture each and every week. Thanks again, Pam. This was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll do it on a Wednesday.
Maybe. Yeah, it was really fun to get our initial thoughts down. And I think episodes like this are so fun because then we can go back and be like, well, we were very wrong about that.
Totally.
So
it's hard when you only watch through one time and then you got to just take notes and go. But once you're able to kind of sit down and go through and read some articles and listen to some other podcasts, you realize, oh, I should have caught that, or there's people out there a lot smarter than I am.
I'm in that same boat with you.
Cool. Well, thanks again, and thanks everybody for listening.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.